Hello everybody, this is William Hall Auto Interiors. What I'm doing today is just a simple fix on four-wheeler seat. This four-wheeler seat right here, I don't know if it's off the Honda or Suzuki or what, I just don't know because the guy just brought it in. But the thing was slap full of water. And this is about the second week. I think that he had it in the river because it does have a bunch of like river sand up under here, and it feels like it's heavy, like it might have to be full of dirt. So I'm sure it does have some dirt in it, and it took a pretty good while for it to dry, and that's an important part. So whenever you're recovering these seats, you need to make sure that you allow it time to dry, because if you don't, that water gets trapped inside and it takes a very long time even if it does dry out. But there's one thing it will do: it will mess your material up, and it will cause it to mildew, and it will rot the threads. Even if you use some of this real good thread that's made UV treated and stuff like that, it can really mess it up. So you want to give it time to dry, hang it up, set it down, put it in the sun, whatever you got to do to get it to that point. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to show you how to redo this seat. It's going to be kind of simple. Hope it's going to be fast. You can tell right here. Yeah. Man, that thing is heavy. You can tell right here that it has shrunk. So the foam has shrank up. Normally, don't do it that bad, but anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna flip the camera around. Got my wingman right here, Wesley. He's gonna be kind of trying to hold it steady for me, and we'll go from there. Wait, that ain't it. I can't even, I know it's got to flip around on here somewhere. You see it, Wesley? Wait, here it is. I don't know what I'm looking for. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. That's the camera right there. So that flips it around. All right. So Wesley's going to try to hold it. If you want to let it down, that doesn't. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start some of this process right here to where I can do part of it and be letting it dry to where I can. Sometimes you just got to line things up and do them all in a line. So as you see this right here, that part needs to come off. So we're gonna come just like this. That ain't nothing but a simple turkey carbon. When you go back with your pad, you want to use a real good density foam. So you want to use something that kind of matches this right here, because this right here is kind of a hard piece. I'm gonna look right here and see if I can find it. All right. This piece right here is a high density piece. So we're going to take it and we're going to put it right back in here. Take this piece right here. And I'm just going to get the shape of it like this. Give myself a little extra because that part up there was gone. Make it a little longer. Believe it or not, all them scrap pieces, you can use them from time to time. All right, remember I said you need to do 2 or 3 things sometimes at once. Now you can look in here and see the darkness right in here. You might can. That ain't nothing but dirt. This guy must have been doing some serious mud bogging with this. That's what I'm thinking. All I did was just glue that. I'm gonna let it sit. This whole thing, I'm probably gonna add a little bit to this right here. It's got some chafing right here on the foam, but it's pretty level. There with my scissors, it's not really down, so that's good. Stick this right over here out of the way. Let it dry. We take this right here. All that right here has been cleaned. It was caked up with mud and really everything you can think of. So what we use is some just some sim dye. We'll dye it down and make it look brand new again. It's hard to make the plastic look any better whenever it's who knows how old this thing is. But if you want it to look brand new, I know he's not going to be taking this off and showing his neighbors that it looks brand new, but when he picks it up, at least it will look good. When you do upholstery work, it's like signing your signature on everything that you do. Everybody will critique your work, seems like. So always do your best. All right, you see this part right here? This right here is a heat shield. For some reason, they put this on there to keep the heat, to reflect the heat. So this right here is aluminum tape. I'm gonna take this aluminum tape and I'm just gonna put it right back on there. If you don't have aluminum tape and you got aluminum foil and some glue, I guess you could glue some aluminum foil on there and it would work. I would use the thicker kind though. No joke, it looked like it has never been cleaned up or nothing. It was pretty bad. So then you take your knife out and try to make it a little more even than what it is. If it's like around the edge, you might want to just curve it a little bit. Come right here. Alright, and now the heat shield's back on there. Ready for another few years. I don't know what this part right here was for, but it did have a piece on there. Okay, so the heat shield's back on there. We got it sprayed. This dye right here, it dries pretty quick. It don't take long, and we're ready to start on the foam. Alright, this piece right here that we glued, it's time to stick it back in place. Okay, you see, to get it right, I had to come right here and so I got to curve that to make it fit the edge of the seat. That's the reason I made it a little bit big. So I'm gonna come right here, just like that. Just like that. I'll take and put it on the seat. The foam is a little short, y'all. So we're gonna come right here. For some reason, it wants me to love on it some more. And that's the way it's done. You see, I left it a little big like that. So what I got to do is I got to come right here. I'll jack this up, put a weight up on there, and trim it right off to the edge, just like that. If you mess up, you can always glue your foam back on. That's one good thing, is you can glue it back on, so you don't have to, don't get too upset if you mess up. Alright, what I do is I come right in here. I'm gonna shape it with this. You may not have one of these, but if you don't, then you can just cut it close as you can. If you don't get real good at one of these, if you're not real good at it, sometimes you might need to do it by hand, because just because it looks real easy, sometimes this thing can really make a mess. Alright, so we got this much of it done. The next thing is I could cover it like that, but you see it's got a piece right back here where it's like shrunk, right in here. I really need to add a piece back here, and if I don't, I think that could weaken it, because if it's going to tear with people jumping on it, that's probably where it's going to tear at. These things don't get taken real good care of. I mean, people use them. This is Wellwood glue. I guess you could do it with 3M. I don't use a lot of that stuff because it just don't work for the applications that I use it for. I don't want to talk bad about it, but I'm just saying everything don't work just right. What I'm going to do is take some of this pad right here and go over it. Not using that piece probably. I think they got me on that pad right there because I bought it like it's scrap seconds. I think they got me. So, all right, we're gonna take this piece right here. That's pretty close enough. Come right in here. Glue it down. This piece didn't have to be quite this. Shit. Come on. This piece didn't have to be quite this big, but it's a hard piece. I didn't want to use a soft piece on it. You just trim off what you don't need. Just like I'm doing here. Come right here, come around the edge. Use this right here, your plastic, as the guide. I'm gonna smooth this part right here out. I'm gonna take the grinder. I could cover it just like that. I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have to grind it, but I do want to smooth it. I do want it slick because I'm gonna go over it with a thin piece. notice that that wheel's turning this away, and I'm going away from this. I'm not going pushing it back because it will turn it up, peel it up. So I'm going with it to where it goes down. Pushing the wheel's pushing the foam that way. And that's how it's done. Alright, so you see it's all the way to the back of the foam now. I mean this piece. It don't have that gap that's about that thick. That way when somebody jumps on it, it's not gonna push the cover against that. It's all the way out to the edge where it's supposed to be. Even the front is the same way. I bought this piece of pad, y'all, and it was supposed to be really, really good stuff, like for trim work. But it's always good to roll it out and look at it. People call them short pieces, but no, they call it scrap. They call it scrap, don't they? Actually, it's short pieces. A lady taught me that. When I go down to raw, I'd go down to this metal place and this lady would say, I said, hey, I got that out of the scrap. That way I would get it real cheap. And then one day I went down there and she said, I said, I got that out of the scrap. She said, we don't have scrap no more. We just got short pieces. So I started doing the same thing. We didn't have scrap no more. I think it's time we got the heat off of it here. You got to give that glue, you can't rush it. If you rush it, it blush and it don't stick. So that's the reason it takes a little bit of extra. I do 2 or 3 things at one time. That's the reason I do a few things, is to keep the keep from you having to wait on the glue to dry. To speed it up, you can take just regular air. It don't have to be hot. That will speed it up. If you try to stick it before it gets completely dry, you might be able to actually pull it back off if you make a mistake. But if you let it dry, done. Because once you stick it, that's the reason they call it contact cement. You're done. It's stuck, and it will tear the material, tear the foam up trying to get it apart. Okay, there it is. It's back to looking like a new piece of foam again. I'm gonna come right here, stick it a little bit right in here, and pull it back up. Take your scissors and just cut it right around the edge, just like this right there. To a point. I hadn't finished the part in the front yet, sticking it. So I'm gonna leave it a little long till I get this part right up in here stuck. It's like it's really it shrank. So I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna pop a few staples in this to hold it. That part right there, pull it tight as you can, stick it. Got a little excess, you can pull it over the edge. Put a few staples in it, just like that. I'm sure if we've done this for YouTube, we do this for a living, but if we've done it for YouTube, I'm sure that we could sit down and edit it and do a whole bunch of things and make probably a little bit better video, but you would never know how long it took to do it. That's for sure. And you can take a bunch of stuff out of it, like the ahs and Isn't it amazing that you got to do all this work just to get to this point? But the foundation of the job is going to determine how the job turns out and what it looks like. So that's the way the foam is supposed to look once you get it on. Because if you put this on over it, this piece, if you put it on over there and it's not just exactly smooth, it's gonna look pretty bad. You want to make sure that you got enough on both sides. These are 1/4-inch staples. I always use stainless steel staples because the other kind rust. You want to take your heat gun and heat this up. If you don't heat it up, it's going to probably not be able to get all the wrinkles and stuff like that out of it. You got to pull it kind of hard, and the hotter it is, the easier it is to pull it. Hey, it does get pretty hot, so. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make this cover right here, how to put this right here on. That's a heat gun. I mean, it's pretty hot. It ain't like a hair dryer, so you got to keep it moving. Burn a hole in it if you don't watch it. Alright, I'm gonna hold it just like this right here, and I'm gonna turn it over. Notice that it was pulled level. It wasn't pulled too tight, but it was pulled level. I'm gonna come right in here. What the crap? Hold on, Wes. Sorry about that, y'all. Wrong air compressor. Hey y'all. We got an air compressor out there that we use in the shop here, and then we got another big air compressor that when we use both of them, we'll cut them both on to sandblast with. So I've got to let a little bit of air out of here. It shouldn't take me just a little bit for the air to go down. It's going to lower the pressure where I can use this staple gun. If I put too much air in, it's going to shoot the staple through the material. It's still loud, ain't it? This right here, around 120, you're good. But whenever you get up to like 150, 160, that air pressure will make the staple gun hit harder, like it just done right there. And it shot the staples all the way through the material. Is it running? It sounds like it's running. Alright. Anyway, you see it's flat right here. So I pulled it. You don't want it too tight, because if you get it too tight, you're gonna have a hard time pulling it down. So I'm just gonna come right here. See, it's not shooting them through. That's all you want to do is just hold it. Okay. So now I'll come right here. I'm gonna take some of this off just to get it out of the way. I don't have to take it all off. I'm just trying to get some of it out of the way. Just for me. I'm gonna turn it back over. Heat it back up. If you notice right here, it's I hope this ain't that distressed looking stuff. No, it's dust. They make a material that's called distressed vinyl. I really don't care too much for it. But this is authentic Endurasoft, Enduratex. Alright, so this is how tight I got it. See, so it's not very tight. You just pull it level. Even though you see the curve right here, it's that high off the foam, we're going to pull it down to that. If it's a hot, sunshiny day, you get by with it, just sticking it outside. I'm going to come right here, put about 1, 2, well, when I got staples in it. 1, 2. Alright, just 3 to hold it. Come over here to this side. Even when you get one from the factory, sometimes it don't touch in that curve. Right in here. Oh, hot almighty nose. That joker nose, it's what they call hot. You can get more out of it if you take your hand and pull it like that. Come right here, put you 1, 2, 3 in there. Now all you do is work your way around, just like that. Dry your hair with that one, you won't have to worry about getting a haircut. It will take it off. Just work your way all the way around it, just like this. Notice I'm going from one side to the other, and that's the reason is to keep this right here straight. I don't want to try to pull it all on one side without going it evenly all the way down. If this was a jet ski seat, sometimes they charge $300-400 for a jet ski seat. But this is a four-wheeler seat, so it ain't as expensive. But he did let this one right here go further, and it wouldn't have cost near as much as if he hadn't. Right here, see all them wrinkles? I got to heat that up and pull it right on around. Then I go to the other side. Just keep going back and forth. Notice I ain't got to do no sewing on this. I do sew some motorcycle seats and stuff. Because of the contours and stuff in it, you cannot get them, but this one right here don't have none. Woo! Come on. If you don't have real strong hands, you probably will the more of these you do. If I knew what it was, we could put a stencil on the back of it and put the name on it. But I don't think at this point he cares. Because I'm telling you, you just wouldn't believe how rough the cover looked on it. Alright, so I'm going to heat this right here up in the front, right around here. It don't have to be heated up a whole lot around there, but I do want to kind of pull as much as I can out of it. It needs to be about as tight as you can get it. People jumping on here, if it's loose, it's going to probably it's going to shorten the life of it anyway. Check all that slack out right there, y'all. Check this out. What happens to it? See it? I'm getting it really, really, really hot. Really, really, really hot. Whoa. I will cut that with my knife. Just right here. Put a few more cycles in there. Nope. I can't answer that right now. I'll have to call that number back while we're doing this. When you're working on different jobs and stuff and you're in this type of business right here, you have to take these little bitty jobs like this right here that comes in, because you got to have the money that's kind of rolling in. You can't just stop on some of these bigger jobs. If that gun gets this too hot for you, you can always get you some like cloth gloves or something like that. This is that piece right here. I got to get real hot, just like I did the other side. Always keep a sharp knife handy, because you always need it to cut around like this right here. So that's the way it looks whenever you do this front side. It's neat. Pull back up under. This part up here at the top is neat. It's the foam. I got it all the way to the edge so it's smooth. We're going to come back here. These right here is not going to take real long. You see all that slack right here? Just heat it up, pull it out. Remember what I said. You don't want to get it too hot in one spot unless you're doing what I did up there in the front. When you pull this real tight, you need to put your staples closer together when it's really, really tight. See? Getting closer. It's almost all the way around the edge. Woo, that's hot. Getting hotter. You can go ahead and see who it is with. This is the reason it's kind of hard to make videos, y'all, because we are running shop and we kind of have to shut everything down. Not actually shut it down, but we have to try to do it whenever we can. Or I would do a lot more jobs if we didn't have a lot of people walking in. All right, everybody. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's all said and done. If you follow the instructions, you shouldn't have no problems. It's simple to do. All you need mainly, heat gun, a good staple gun, and line it up. You're gonna need maybe a grinder. You can use a grinder if you don't have one, and get your turkey carver out for Thanksgiving. You don't use it once a year. And that's the finished product right there. That's what it's supposed to look like. I want to say thank you to everybody that comes in and looks and tries to learn. I'm gonna turn this right here around. Here we go. Yeah. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see. If you can learn something from it, I would like to teach somebody something before I get too old. So I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.